Hey guys, and welcome back to Not Easy Being Geeky. Unfortunately, due to the current events that have happened throughout this past week, um, we will not be talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender this week. I know that's what I had talked about last week, that this one was going to be a fun-filled episode talking about one of my favorite series of all time, but with what's happening right now, I felt as though it was not appropriate to talk about something other than what is going on now. And I am a small podcast, but I do have a platform. It is a small one, but it is still a platform. And I felt as though I needed to speak on my thoughts and what I truly believe and what I will fight for. For those of you that don't know, I am a woman of color and I am a proud Latina woman. And sorry. And seeing Mr. Floyd be murdered is one of the most horrible things I've ever seen in my entire life. An innocent man was murdered. It was not an accident. For a crime that he did not commit. Black lives matter. And when we say Black Lives Matter, we do not mean that all lives do not matter. We mean that their lives matter too. So when you combat us and say all lives matter, you are taking away what the movement stands for, which is equality. They are not looking for revenge. They are fighting for equality. And that is saying something, because they could. They could fight for revenge, and they are not. They want to be equal. When we say you are privileged, we do not mean that you have never suffered, you have never been hurt, you have never had problems. What we mean is that the color of your skin has never been the reason for those problems, for that hurt, for that struggle. I am proud to be in an interracial relationship. I am married to a white man who is a true ally and who loves me. And we need to say their names. So many innocent Black people have been murdered. Mr. George Floyd was murdered. And there is no justice until his murderer is convicted and in prison for murder. And I have something to say to those of you that are protesting. One, I am so proud of you. But please be safe, be smart, be safe. We know that not all cops are bad. But there are too many bad cops. As a woman of color, I have experienced racism for too long. I went to a predominantly white school, and yes, I know not all white people are bad. I know my husband is proof of that. My entire family is multicultural. White, black, Hispanic, Asian, you name it, we got it. So I will never understand how you could hate someone for being different than you. I went to a predominantly white school, and from day one, I knew something was wrong. Why was I such a threat? I was scared to look different, so I straightened my curly hair to look more white. I wore white-owned business clothing because I was terrified to look different. I was scared. I was scared to fight for myself because I was scared that if I said something to a pretty white girl that I would get punished. I have been escorted out of a store because I looked like I couldn't afford something. When I have been pulled over for a speeding ticket, an officer told me to put my hands up so he could see them. I have been told I am not good enough for my white husband. So when you say you are not privileged, you do not understand why we are fighting so hard for equality. So if you combat us and say, all lives matter, not all cops are bad, you don't understand and you need to check yourself and make sure you're not a racist. Because you're missing the whole point of the movement. And I will fight until my last breath, until the entire world understands that this is wrong. We need to be heard. So if you're wondering at this point if I support the Black Lives Matter movement, you're damn right that I do. To my protesters, again, please be safe. Make sure if you cannot go and protest, that you are signing petitions, you are donating. There are other ways you can help. And let me just also say that if you are uncomfortable, you're also part of the problem. It is time to get uncomfortable and speak up. You remaining silent hurts us. What you're saying by being silent is that this behavior is acceptable. Speak up. We have allies. This is not white versus black. This is racists versus everyone else. We have allies not of just color. We have white allies too, because white people are tired of racist shit. It is not okay. And to the Floyd family, I am so sorry for your loss. I cannot even begin to imagine the pain that you are going through. As people of color, we have as people of color, we are scared for our lives for the simplest reasons. I'm terrified to walk my dog alone at night. I am not a white passing Latina. I have tan skin, I have dark curly hair, and I am proud of my culture. If things did not change, I would not have the people in my life that mean the most to me. I would not have my husband. I would not have some of my family. And if that doesn't terrify you, then you're part of the problem. We have to fight for what's right. People of color deserve the same rights. Black people deserve the same rights. You do not get to invalidate our hurt for losing our loved ones, for being scared to lose our loved ones. If you are listening to this podcast and you have any hate, you will be blocked. This is not about spreading hate. We are trying to be equal. Please make sure you are researching ways to help out in any way you can if you cannot protest. We are not angry at you if you cannot go protest. We understand. Not everyone can. There are many other ways you can be supportive. You can be a better ally. If you see something or if you hear something and you know it is not right, please speak up. Your silence hurts us. Again, to the Floyd family, I am so sorry for your loss. On TikTok, there was an entire movement to help bring awareness that Black creators and people of color were being silenced. Their content was not being seen and was being taken down. There was a blackout movement. And boy, let me tell you, did the racists come out. To my TikTok family, keep posting. We need to spread awareness. We will not be silenced. We deserve to be seen. We deserve to be heard. And if you do not understand the movement, do your research. I don't know how else to explain to you to care for other people. I will never understand the hatred I know this is not normally something I would talk about in this fun, crazy podcast that I have, but I felt as though I could not continue until I spoke out about this. I did not feel right not saying something. So if you were looking forward to the Avatar The Last Airbender episode, I apologize, but this was more important. So we've rescheduled it for next week. We are still doing it. This was just more important. And if you are uncomfortable hearing this, or if you don't like me speaking on this is not the podcast for you. I am not scared to lose followers because of what I believe in and what I know is right. So if you do not support the movement, go ahead and unfollow us. And as always, it's not easy being geeky. Stay safe out there.